You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Get ready. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guy. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and on the line we got DC chiming in. What's going on, brother?
Saints is going on, man. And on and on and on. For the Super Bowl.
That's right. This podcast 264 on the Coma. That's right, 264. And in this episode, we're recapping the Saints' glorious, magnificent trouncing of the Los Angeles Rams, 45-35 in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The game was absolutely thrilling. Of course, the Saints kind of took the pedal off going into the second half of it, but they were able to turn it on again just like that and were able to take it away from the Rams. So big ups. Will be recapping this game with stats, facts, and breakdown. We'll have our thumbs up, thumbs down segment as usual. We'll also talk about the offense, defense, and special teams of the Saints today. We'll also talk about Michael Thomas's cell phone incident. We'll cover that as well in the topic. We'll talk about the great moves the Saints have done in building this fantastic win as Sean Payton continues his revenge tour. Another one bites the dust. And without further ado, we'd like to start in this podcast by thanking all of the new and established listeners of the Sports Coma. Thank you guys for always being there to listen to us talk about our beloved New Orleans Saints as a family. Welcome aboard, and thank you for joining us. Now, getting right into it, DC, 45-35 Saints thrilling win over the Los Angeles Rams in the Dome. Big ups to the Saints as they were able to just basically put the pedal down when they needed to, going up as much as 21 in the first half. Then, of course, dialing back, not scoring anything in the third, then ultimately turning it on again to accelerate as the defense got going as well in the second half to get things going. Now, what's your take before we get into the individual stats? I mean, the team stats, then the individual stats. What's your take on the game?
Awesome, nostalgic, season, game-changing. Can I find any other weird words? Basically, this is the game that defines the season, man, going forward. It's perfectly fitting. Week 8 game, right in the middle of the season. Not saying if they lost this game, the season would have been over or nothing. But this just shows you how serious the Saints are. They're a big problem. 4 number 1 teams in their division we'd have knocked off after this. And this being pretty much the best team in the league, considered by most sports analysts, coaches, and everybody, really, the best record. So it's a very, very special win for a very special season, man. Thought it was amazing that everybody showed up.
Saints came into this one, man. A lot of people picked against the Saints. Some did, some didn't. They were believing what the Rams could do to the Saints. Of course, remember last year, the Saints went out there to Los Angeles and lost the game. Of course, Marshawn Lattimore didn't play in that game. And this time around, it was going to be different. We've been saying for a while now, it's the revenge tour. And the Rams were next up on the revenge tour as the Saints got even with them. 31 first downs for the Saints in this one versus 23 by the Los Angeles Rams. Saints were 7 of 12 on third down, 3 of 8 for the Rams. Saints were 2 of 2 on fourth down. Get that. 70 total plays for the Saints in this one versus 59 by the Rams. 487 total yards by the Saints offense. 483 by the Rams. Total plays 11-11. The Rams did averages over 8 yards a play versus the Saints 7 flat. Of course, the passing game, Drew Brees, 346 yards on 25 of 36. He averaged almost 10 yards a throw. First down every time he threw the ball. On the other side of it, looking at Jared Goff, 28 of 40 for 391, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Drew had 4 touchdowns, no picks in this one. Big time play by Drew Brees in this one. Rushing game. The Saints rushed the ball for 141 yards, 141 yards versus the Rams 92 yards and off of 34 attempts, 19 attempts by the Rams. Averaged about 4 yards a rush for the Saints, almost 5 for the Rams. Red zone, Saints was 5 of 5. That's the more important stat right there. 5 of 5 in the red zone. Every time they was down there, they scored, and they showed why. And then the Rams, 3 of 5. Look at that as a very, very positive stat. And another positive stat, the Saints only had 2 penalties for 20 yards versus the Rams 4 penalties for 32 yards and a turnover apiece for both teams. Of course, the turnover from the Saints was Mark Ingram's fumble. Outside of that, we're looking at time possession, 33 minutes, 41 seconds for the Saints versus 26 minutes and 19 seconds for the Rams. DC, before we get into individual stats, a lot of great stuff here. Alvin Kamara was excellent in this game. 19 carries for 82 yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He also had a catching touchdown on 434. Mike Thomas, 12 catches, 211 yards. I just can't help it, but I got to talk these stats. They got to be made mention. 12 catches, 211 yards. This man averaged almost over 17 yards every time he touched the ball. He had a touchdown. We talking about Michael Thomas in this one. Now, before I get
on 15 targets.
On 15 targets, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm going to repeat, Drew Brees, 25-36, 4 touchdowns on the night. He had a 97.2 QB rating in the game. He was most excellent. Mark Ingram, 9 carries for 33 yards in the game. Ben Watson put on a good performance, even though he was targeted 4 times. He caught 3. One of them was an athletic catch, and he also had a nice wide open touchdown grab, 3 catches for 62 yards, had a really nice, excellent celebration, celebrating his baby. 1 touchdown for him as well. Alvin Kamara, we already mentioned that. Traquan Smith got busy too. 2 catches for 23 yards, averaged about 11 yards a catch. He had a touchdown in this one as well. And Josh Hill, before we even talk about Josh Hill, he wasn't much of a factor on catching the ball. He had 2 catches for 10 yards. But man, Josh Hill was excellent in this game.
I counted about 3 or 4 of them, man. I counted about 3 or 4 of them blocks.
He was absolutely excellent in this game. Josh Hill had fantastic blocks that opened up holes for the Saints, and he was absolutely tremendous and terrific in this game, both him and Ben Watson. Now,
it's good that you say that, man. That's why I like doing the show with you. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they said, Josh Hill ain't bleepity bleep bleep bleep. I'm like, man, y'all, I don't know what you was watching Sunday. He dropped a few passes, so I guess that's why that person was upset. But wow, man, those blocks were amazing. I got to repeat it again because usually, most people don't even talk about that. Carry on.
Well, there's most people got to know. They got to see the game, though, bro. Appreciate the comment, but a lot of people don't see the game the same. That's why a lot of people listen to Sports Coma, because that's what insight is. When you have insight, you see things most people miss. Like the national network guys that were communicating the game missed the obvious fact that Mike Thomas caught that touchdown.
What is he doing? What a flip phone? Why?
When Mike Thomas went underneath the goal, I knew what he was doing. Right when I said, so he's going, I said he about to bust the Joe Horn.
Right.
And that's exactly what he did. He bust out the Joe Horn. And that was really spectacular because it was a key moment. And Joe Horn was one of my favorite Saints wide receivers. He had the chicken dance he would do. So that was big ups that he paid him some credit. So people had to dig out the footage for that to watch Joe Horn dig up on that. But that was really big in the game. But anyway, DC, let's get right into our thumbs up, thumbs down segment before we talk about the defensive statistics. Thumbs up, thumbs down, buddy. Who you got?
Wow, man, the Saints is really making this difficult. Wow, I have to give a thumbs down. Wow. I know. You know what? I wasn't prepared for this, man. It's almost like a test, and I didn't study. Thumbs up. I'm going with none other than, you let me go first, bro. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and take it, bro. I'm going to go Michael Thomas, of course. How can I not? He has to be said first. 12 receptions for 211 yards and a touchdown on Marcus Peters. Considered by some as a top 5 best cornerback in the league. I mean, he just abused him. It was really depressing as a Rams fan, I'm sure.
He was quoted as saying, shit happens. And they asked him about Michael Thomas's days. His quote was, shit happens.
I understand. Man,
Carry
I'm
on, my
trying
friend.
to find this thumbs down. I'm really hard pressed. Please don't be mad at me. My thumbs down, I'm going to go with Marshawn Lattimore. And it's really splitting hairs. I mean, we can't just keep going every week and not give the thumbs down. And I'm only saying for Sean Lattimore not because he played horribly, but because we expect him to be a elite shutdown corner. And I don't feel like he was that on Sunday. I mean, I don't even think he gave up a touchdown. You know what? I'm sorry, Marshawn Lattimore. Let me go with Eli. I gotta pick somebody. I can't pick PJ. Von Bell played good. Marcus Williams played good. So I'm gonna go with Eli Apple, man. That catch to Cooper Kupp was very depressing. I thought a little lackluster. A lot of people saying he came here, they don't really feel like the secondary's improved. Well, since he came here, we ain't lose, so I'm cool with it. But I'm gonna say my thumbs down, Eli Apple, man. Just that catch he gave up at a crucial time. I mean, he did have 5 tackles. I didn't see him getting any deflected passes. Well, he actually got one. He had one batted ball. But yeah, Cooper Kupp, man, and a few other guys got him. So I'm gonna say Eli Apple, man.
All right, Eli Apple, man. I got you on that. I understand. I think my thumbs up. I'm giving them to you early before we hit the break in a couple minutes.
You got to give a thumbs down. I ain't letting you squeeze your way out of this one.
No, I got a thumbs down today. I'm gonna give my thumbs down. I'm gonna do my thumbs up first. But I like I said, it's my thumbs up is a 2-way tie. I'm gonna have to just be honest with you. It's a 2-way tie, and it's between Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. I mean, these two guys were absolutely splendid.
Man, wait, you mean Kamara?
No, Drew Brees and Mike Thomas.
I'll take mine back then. Kamara is my thumbs up. How you going to leave that man out when he scored 3 touchdowns? Keith, what's wrong with you?
I can't. It's a 2-way tie. I mean, they had excellent games.
We got
Drew Brees.
Got
Listen, only thing I can say is Drew Brees torched the Los Angeles Rams secondary. 346 yards. 25 of 36. He averaged almost 10 yards every time he threw a first down every time he threw the ball. He had 4 touchdowns in this game. You know, he was he didn't even get sacked. The offensive line protect him. He didn't get sacked all day. And we remember what we said in the previous show, and I'm glad we got it on tape, that the Saints offensive line is the best line in football when they're healthy, and that if anybody could deal with the Los Angeles Rams defensive line, it's the Saints offensive line.
Narcissistic for a minute. Shout out to myself and Big Q, because we've been saying this since like week 2 of last year.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, sir. But that's the 2-way tie we're going to make mention of. Brees is excellent. Then, of course, Mike Thomas, man. 12 catches, 211 yards. He broke the all-time receiving yardage for a Saint receiver in a season. He averaged 17.5 yards on the catch. Yeah, he was targeted 15 times, had that 72-yard longer that broke it open in the second half. Was excellent. Then he did it against Marcus Peters, like DC astutely mentioned. Marcus Peters some consider him as a top 10 cornerback in the NFL. He abused Marcus Peters. Made Marcus Peters look like Ken Crawley was out there. Made him look like P.J. Williams was out there.
He fell down in my top 10 after that one game.
He looked really bad. I mean, Michael Thomas abused this man. Abused him. Put the tape on and look at it again. Look how he ragdogged this dude. And my thumbs down dude of the day, I don't have to struggle with this one. This is pretty easy. I'm going to give it to Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram came in there. He had 9 carries for 33 yards, less than 4 yards a carry, and he had a ridiculous fumble. That kind of gave the Rams an opportunity. A good thing the Saints were able to stop their stuff that drive so they didn't score. But ultimately, I'm going to have to give my thumbs down to Mark Ingram. He could have turned in a better performance than what he did. And I hold him to a higher standard than what he did. Now, of course,
And Mark, stop acting like your arm hurt because you fumbled. Nothing wrong with your arm.
The only thing that was hurt was his pride. Anyway, that'll do it for the first segment. When we come back, we're going to finish our discussion on this fantastic game between the Saints and the Rams. We'll talk more about the defense coming up, and as well as the special teams. And we'll also have the Sports Coma question of the day. How could I forget to give you all that? The Sports Coma question of the day, we'll give that to you on the other side of the break. And also other Saints news and notes all here on the other side of the break. Stay with us. Listen to the Sports Coma with Big Q, guys.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, sports world? It's Big Q. Talking at you from the PRO Media Network, letting you know that we're attempting to make things a lot simpler on our listeners and viewers of our mini podcast. So as a result, we're leasing down a lot of our shows to have their own channels for your convenience. Starting soon, shows like Ring King Boxing, LSU's Tough Tiger Talk, the Pelican Postgame Report will all have their own individual YouTube channels. So thank you for working with us during this process. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your donations and support for our platform as we continue to improve moving forward. Peace.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that? Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000. Celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registrars and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guy. We recapping the Saints and the Rams, man. The Saints 45-35 win over the Rams in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Now listen, people, well over 73,000 people in the building, standing room only, to watch the Saints put it in on the Rams 45-35. Now, fantastic win, big ups, big win indeed. We're going to get into the defensive stats on this side of the break. Covered a lot of stuff in the first half. This time around, we got interviews we're going to throw up on you from Coach Payton. You're going to hear what Coach Payton thoughts on after the game. We're going to give you a little Drew Brees as well. We also going to hit you with the Sports Coma question of the day, and y'all going to love this one, Saints family. Are the Saints Super Bowl contenders? Are they Super Bowl bound? That's the better question. Are they Super Bowl bound? Are the New Orleans Saints Super Bowl bound? Y'all answer the questions. We had a lot of fantastic comments from the previous show. We're going to read those in this side of the show as well as we recap and we move forward. Now, DC, before we get back into this, until we play a little bit from the coach and see what his thoughts of, I have to mention the fact that the Saints defense are the #1 run stuffing defense in the entire league. Check.
They submitted themselves in this game, if you ask me.
Ty Gurley, one of the more difficult backs to stop in the NFL, comes into your building. This guy has 11 rushing touchdowns coming into the building.
11? Now, 16.
It stands right now. We're talking about just rushing as it stands right now.
Okay. I'm sorry. My bad, my brother.
We're looking at his statistics. Carrying 182 times. This man has 868 yards thus far, averaging almost 5 yards a carry. He has 12 rushing touchdowns. He got 12 rushing touchdowns so far in the season. Now, the Saints held this man after coming off against Green Bay. He had 25 carries for 114 yards. Against Green Bay, the Saints stuffed this man. He had rushed for 13 times for 68 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, the reason why I'm making mention of that is how difficult Ty Gurley and how excellent their offensive line is in moving the ball. The Saints stopped the Rams' attack 19 carries by all of their guys. They had a couple of little plays for Robert Woods. Johnny Hecker tried to scramble for a first down. That blew up in his face. And, of course, Jared Goff scrambled 3 times for 17 yards. All of that, and he still was only to muster 19 carries for 92 yards and 1 score by Gurley. All said and done, the Saints
only had 13 carries and 68 yards.
68. But
see,
that's the beautiful thing about
Browns credit, man.
That's the beautiful thing about it. They talk. We said that in the show as well. The big talk was about how the Rams defense was going to do against the Saints offense. I said what they're not talking about is how the Saints defense is going to do against the Rams offense. And the Saints defense shut them down, basically forced Jared Goff to become a passer. And don't get me wrong, he threw the ball really well. 28 out of 40, 391, almost 10 yards every time he threw the ball, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He wasn't sacked at all. Credit to the offensive line as well to keep him upright. Despite all that, they still lost by 10 points.
Yeah, well,
so like I said,
Jared Goff isn't on Drew Brees level, man. If you want him to go back there and single-handedly win you a game, I think he can win one or some games. But in a game of this magnitude, I don't think he's on the level where you can win the game just on his own.
Let's go to the coach. Let's hear what he got to say. His coach Payton starts on the game.
2 good teams going back and forth. The momentum shifted the second half in their favor. Credit those guys. They fought back and really came right back into the game. In the end, we made enough plays and we won an important game. And I think each week there's instances where the game unfolds differently, and today certainly it unfolded in a certain manner. But there is a confidence level of playing in close games. They understand most of the games we're going to play in are really going to be games that come down to the final couple of possessions. They have been. So part of that is experience. You gain confidence if you've had success or experience some type of success, and we have at some point or a few different times during the year. So it's just trying to change that momentum shift, and obviously the third down play to Mike was significant. We kind of caught him in a bracket coverage. They doubled low on Alvin, and Mike was freed up. He played outstanding today. I mean, he wasn't all fired up about the penalty. We'll get that figured out and handled, but he had a great game. Listen, that's a good team. Yeah, I wouldn't use that word. You used it. So are you asking a question or making a statement? Man, I thought they were big. No, well, that was the plan. They were going to travel Marcus to them, and that was fine by us. We thought we really liked that matchup a lot. And so it's not so much the matchup, it's where the other safeties tilted or leaning. But on the third down play, it was a little in and out. Alvin was on an underneath primary route. Mike was through it. And so when you stop the film, the double came on the low route, Alvin, and Mike had the single with no safety help. So ended up being a real good read by Drew. Considering the primary during the week and the throws during the week had gone to Alvin on that. Look, we just keep going. We're not, counting any of the chips. We've played some good teams. We played a lot of division leaders. Washington was a division leader. Baltimore was a division leader. Minnesota was a division leader. The Rams were a division leader. But you're going to have to. So there's things we're going to have to do to get better. I wasn't really excited about the way we finished the half. The turnover we got was significant to score a touchdown on that. But I don't like how we conceded a field goal late. We'll be better in those situations. And I think the one thing is that they're working to improve, and we've got a number of areas. Situationally, we've got a number of areas we have to get better at.
That was Coach Payton chiming in, man, and he was, of course, giving his thoughts on the game. As you can see, he was pretty happy, of course, to talk. They're going to more than likely mention that cell phone thing, but in the end, I don't think it's anything that we're supposed to even be concerned about after the win.
The kind of game. They're going to talk about that all week.
Man, the kind of game that man get on, he could have went up under there and pull out a whole If he went up under there and pull out a 1990 video camera and start filming everybody, I don't care if the 12-catch, 211-yard performance.
I want to pull out a shelving next
man.
week.
Anyway, let's listen to Drew Brees. Here's Drew Brees' thoughts on the game.
Well, listen, some of those were tight windows, and so credit to him for getting open, getting enough separation, body control, just all the things that he does to give me a place to throw the ball to him. And, he makes a ton of contested throws. He did that today. Came up with some big third down catches. Obviously, none bigger than the one at the end of the game there. Just a big-time player who's always ready to make the big-time plays. Yeah, there is. We kind of listen. He can do everything. And I think a lot of times corners may get a little frustrated with him, and just as physical as he is with a lot of the intermediate stuff, and so when they start playing underneath him, that's when we have opportunities to push the ball down the field to him, which is what happened there at the end of the game. Yeah, well, they're standing next to each other, so as you're looking at it, you feel like they're going to drop in and double somebody. You just don't know which one it is, and sometimes they can do 3-on-2 and different stuff like that. But the minute the ball was snapped, felt like, okay, Kamara's doubled, Mike's singled, Mike's by him, here we go. Well, listen, he's a top-flight corner. He's an elite corner, so just depending on the team and that kind of thing, they go in every game saying, all right, what are our matchups? Where are our matchup problems? And a lot of times, you see it on film with Marcus Peters where they just say, all right, you just take their best guy, you take care of him, and then we'll worry about the rest of them. And that's basically what happened on that play was everybody's trying to match, and they kind of said, all right, Peters, you got Mike T. Listen, the two, so, They get the ball first. They go down and score. We come back. We go 6 plays. We convert a third down and just, and then, they drive down and score. And then we go 6 plays again, get a couple first downs, and then get stopped. So it's not like it was 3 and out. We were, we would drive the ball a little bit. We just, you just got to be so efficient against a team like that, especially when the back and forth is occurring, on the other side of the ball. Listen, that is as explosive an offense as there is that the Rams have. So we knew it was going to be an all-day battle, and we knew that even at the score 35-14, there's still a ton of football left to be played, and they're a high-scoring offense, and we still needed to be able to score some points. Well, hey, this is when we go win the game. So they did a great job of tying it up, and then offensively for us, we were able to go down, kick a field goal. Defense comes up with a huge stop, give us the ball back, and then boom, we make it a 10-point game, which obviously changes things completely. Listen, of course, it's a very meaningful game. Trying to keep things in perspective that each win counts the same, right? When you talk about playoff implications and all those things, that's who we aspire to be. So knowing that, hey, that was the undefeated team, that was the team that was leading the NFC, yeah, that's a big win, obviously. But they're going to keep winning games, I'm sure. I want us to keep winning games, and, we'll see how it shakes out in the end.
All right, that was Drew, man. Drew, thoughts on the game as well as usual. You can see Drew's kind of excited right there. Of course, the Saints, not to mention the Saints have now won 7 games in a row here. Let's mention that as well. The Saints are on a 7-game winning streak. They are 7-1. They're 3-1 at home. They've beaten nothing but divisional leaders the last 3 or 4 contests. And now they head into Cincinnati. We'll preview that game later on. But before we go any further, let's talk about the defense and get to some of the defensive statistics. Demario Davis was excellent. Of course, he was a top tackle. He finished with 7 total tackles, 5 of which was solo. He had 1 tackle for loss and 1 QB hit. P.J. Williams finished tied with Von Bell in tackles. Both guys had 6 apiece. P.J. had 3 pass defense in the game. As his confidence is starting to build each game, he incrementally starting to look a little better. Eli Apple and Alex Anzalone, who had a terrific interception, a very excellent athletic interception by Alex Anzalone. Eli Apple had 5 tackles, so did him, Alex Anzalone. A.J. Klein, Marshawn Lattimore had 4 tackles apiece. Marcus Williams, Daniel or David Onyemata, 3 apiece. Cam, not much to talk about. Cam tried, like DC said, to get there. He was held a lot. 2 tackles for him, and of course Craig Robertson, who made a splendid tackle to knock Hecker, the punter, out of bounds, so he didn't get that 4th down attempt in the game. And of course, Kurt Coleman, Zach Lyons, Sheldon Rankins, Dwayne Washington, Trey Hendrickson, Ryan Ramczyk, Alex Okafor, Tyler Davison, and Vance Bajor all had a tackle apiece in this game. So also not to mention Taysom Hill didn't do too much in this game. He didn't throw a pass. He had 2 carries for 10 yards, and then he had a couple of returns.
It's a great decoy.
He is a decoy, that's true. 2 kick returns for 49 yards for Taysom Hill in this game. Will Lutz 1 for 1 on the night, and he was responsible for 9 total points. And then, of course, Thomas Morstead, the best punter in the league, he had 2 punts for 67 yards, pinning them inside the 20 on both of those punts. That's how greatness is what Tommy Morstead is. So with that said, we look at the special teams, we looked at the defense, DC. We talked ad nauseum about them shutting down the running game of the St. Louis Rams, forcing turnovers. Forced a turnover, got an interception on Jared Goff, got after him, didn't sack him, but the Saints, you can see with Eli Apple there, he made a few mistakes, but I've been reading this stuff about Eli Apple too and how they don't seem to be getting better. I don't know who the hell them people, what they're looking at, but if you need to get your eyes checked, you need to get your eyes checked. If you don't see the difference between Eli Apple and Ken Crawley, you need to get your damn eyes checked.
I can tell them one thing: Eli Apple is not getting targeted 10 times a game, 7 times a game. They're not throwing at him like that, man. But those people looking at one play here or there that he might give up, or even if they got a big play in the zone, and the last person that they see in the zone, they're just going to give the whole credit to that person. So I think people are exaggerating a little bit.
Absolutely. Also to make mention of their components, Brandon Cooks, a former Saint, he played well in this one. 6 catches, 114 yards, 1 touchdown for him. Cooper Kupp, 5 catches for 89 and a score. Robert Woods had 5 catches for 71 yards, nothing more than that. And of course, Malcolm Brown had 1 catch for a touchdown, 1 for 18 yards. And their top player for the defensive side wasn't named Aaron Donald. It wasn't named Ndamukong Suh. And it wasn't named Michael Brockers. It was Corey Littleton. He had 9 tackles. And John Johnson III, the safety, had 9 tackles, tied for their game. So big way how the Saints offensive line totally shut down and dominated, shut them down. That fierce line and in your face, Ndamukong Suh, for choosing to go out there and play with Aaron Donald when you could have been in the middle playing for the Saints. Could you imagine that for a second? So in your face, and Ndamukong Suh. Anyway, I'm happy here, man. Anyway, let's look at it like this. Remember the Sports Coma question today. We want y'all to answer that question. That is, are the Saints Super Bowl contenders? Are they Super Bowl contenders? Yes, sir. Yeah, and nay. Y'all have an opportunity to chime out. We had a few commenters that spoke against them saying, maybe perhaps we don't know. We have to wait and see against the Rams. Now, with the win, are you convinced? Let me read a little bit of this article right here, citing from NFL Network. Des Bryant among 3 wide receivers working out for the Saints. This is fresh off the presses here. And the Saints are looking to expand their receiving core. I'm quoting the article, and perhaps add some all-pro talent. The Saints are set to work out 3 wide receivers on Tuesday, including former Dallas star Des Bryant, sources told NFL Network. And Bryant has team lists since the Cowboys released him in April. He has visited multiple teams, including the Browns and in August, but has yet to sign. If signed by the Super Bowl contending Saints, notice they said Super Bowl contending. That's love and respect now, y'all. The 30-year-old Bryant will join a receiver core room led by Michael Thomas, populated by Traquan Smith, Austin Carr, and Cam Meredith. Now, Cam Meredith was on the sideline. Very interesting that I was watching number 81 stand up. I didn't see him get in the game. I don't know what's going on with that, but they said New Orleans could use some balance and sure hands on the outside. Is Des Bryant the guy? Now, of course, they said 3 other guys, including Des. I don't know who the 2 are. We're going to have to, that information will come I guess later on, but this is fresh off the press. So, but anyway, yeah, it's very interesting, man. Very interesting news. DC, thank you for that. Let's get into our reply section before we head out the show. We got last about 5 minutes left. And here are comments. Of course, when you answer the Sports Coma question today, we read the replies on the show. And also to let our followers and listeners of the show know that the Sports Coma Live is coming soon. We're still working on that. It's coming soon, so just be patient with us. But let's get into some of the replies from the previous question of the day. Here we go. FHGMTV says, this show is great, bro. Much love. And of course, big shout out to FHGMTV. We appreciate you guys for chiming in. Thank you for the love and appreciate the respect, brothers. Same to you guys as well. Also, here goes Hemisphere is in the building. He says, What's up, Hemisphere? With the win against the Rams, it'll mean the Rams will have to come to the Dome again for the NFC Championship game. Remember, they did say that. I heard the broadcast did say this got the feeling. And I heard Strahan said that too. He leaned over and said that to one of the coaches. Said, you know what? We could be watching the NFC. Anybody got the feeling we could be watching the NFC Championship game? And if it's going to be in a Superdome, it's going to be a repeat of what happened tonight, Sunday night. So you're interested. But let's get back into the comment. We'll solidify number one spot in the NFC West, which is what the Saints need to get to the ultimate goal. With the loss against the Rams, that would mean the Saints as a number 2 seed would have to go to LA to play the Rams. If this happens, the Saints got another monkey to get off their backs, and that's winning a playoff game on the road. I see the Saints playing with a lot of grit with forget about the bad play and make a good play next snap mentality. PJ Williams demonstrated last week against the Vikings. It's tough for any team to go undefeated during the regular season, and seeing how the Packers played them last week and gave them a run for their money, I can see the Rams losing against the Saints. Here's a shock for everyone. Not only will the Saints win the game, but they will win it 40-13. Not quite, Hemisphere. Not quite, buddy. But you was a little bit off, man, to want it bad to lose this game as they run the Rams out of the Superdome. Note, I posted this midweek before the game. As a Saints fan, I'll be SHH, the national media. Okay, appreciate the comment, Hemisphere. Thank you, my man, for almost close, my friend. Close. You was a lot closer than what I was. I said 24-14, I think. But yeah, but you were a lot closer than I was. Here goes John Gordon chiming in. He said, the Pelicans lost today. LSU Tigers lost. I hope this is not a lingering disease that floats through the Saints locker room. The Saints have to come out scoring early, set a tone, and pose their physical prowess against the Rams. Shout out to Tulane also going on the road and dominating 7-1 South Florida. Who dat? Big ups to you, John Gordon. Thank you for commenting, my friend. Yeah, the Pelicans lost, and they fallen through the floor there and lost 5 in a row. Pelican post-game reports covering all that. We also know about the LSU Tigers, how they lost 29-0 to Alabama. The tough Tiger talk got you on that one. And then, of course, no, the lingering disease stopped with those teams. We don't really talk about Tulane that much. In our first season doing the Sports Coma, we talked about Tulane all the time. We realized that people don't give a damn about Tulane because they're not winning enough. Usually when you win something, then we start talking. But yes, you got to respect what you're saying about them going to beat South Florida. Now listen, they got a couple games left, and they can win these games. They'll become bowl eligible, and that'll be the first time since 2013. Now, see, I know about Tulane. I had a nephew that played there for 4 years on the basketball team. He was a star on the basketball team for 4 years. I know about Tulane prior to that, found with Sean King and going way back to the days when the basketball with Gerald Honeycutt and all those guys. But Tulane is all, you from New Orleans and you you watch college, you always root for two teams. It'll be Tulane if you're from New Orleans and LSU, but I know about Tulane. We just don't talk about them because they're not doing shit. But anyway, thank you for your comment, though. And we know about them. See, I've been following them. But anyway, let's go to our next comment. Yeah, that's very true. And I think that'll help them. Since he started, they've won those 2 games. So he knows what he's doing. Look, we're talking about Tulane here on the Sports Coma. It's going back to our roots. Anyway, let's hear what DJ Austin, DJ's chiming in. What's happening, DJ? He says, to answer your question, I don't know. I would love to win because I made a bet. And if I win, my friend have to wear a Saints jersey. My thing is the defense. But the way they've been playing, my final score is 37 Saints to 24 Rams. Okay, close, DJ, very close. He was three off on the Saints total and about 10 off, almost 9 points off on the round. Tough to call it, you know what I'm saying? I said 28 toward 24. I thought the defenses would show up more and kind of slow the offenses down a bit, not so much. But hey, man, you was right. Now you know what? That guy got to wear that damn jersey. And that's the best part of the bet. Don't worry about the score, but you beat your friend, so that's a good one. Chaim Schreiber chimes in. Cham is back. He ain't commented in a while. He said, nowadays it's offense trumping defense. I got you, Cham. Cham is agreeing with DC when he said offense is more now than it was because of the rule changes. Still, you know what? I'm kind of old school, Cham. I'm kind of old school. I still throw that defense in there every now and again, but I understand where you're coming from on now. And then, of course, Audit the Fed chiming. You should hear, let me tell y'all something. Y'all should hear our off-phone discussion. You should hear how I be talking off the air. But anyway, Audit the Fed chimes. He said Rams are too good. Saints will need constant pressure on Goff to win. Rams 35-27. How can the Rams afford so much talent? Are they using the California deficit spending, or others taking pay cuts to play in sunny California? That's a good question, Audit. That, you know, they do have a lot of talent. They paid a lot of guys. They played Aaron Donald. They played Brandon Cooks. They paid Sue. They definitely spending up to the, they definitely spending a lot of money to get a Super Bowl, man. And, obviously it didn't work against the Saints because the Saints stopped them in 45-35. No, the Rams didn't win the Audit. You was off on that, but we agree with you about the deficit spending, my brother. And also Crass 4 chimes in. Crass 4, what's up, Crass? He says, if not for a selfish run out and subsequent Ty Montgomery fumble on the kickoff, the Rams were headed for a loss. Sure, the Rams are good, but certainly beatable, especially in the dome. Big ups to Crass. Crass calling it. He's being prophetic. He's throwing it down. He's saying that they are beatable in dome. And guess what? He was backed up by the Saints, 45-35, shellacking, knocking the Rams back to reality and giving them that loss and telling them, y'all guys are not Super Bowl winners. We are. You're going to have to go through the Superdome to get this in here. And I'm just so proud of it. Anyway, I'll tell you what, man, like I said, we've been saying it before. We got some of the smartest people listen to the Sports Coma, and we just appreciate it. And the family continue to grow and grow and grow. It's not some stupidity or some garbage. We have some really intelligent people chiming in with great commentary and a little humor there as well. Perfect balance of comments. So once again, I concur. I echo DC sentiments to all of our new and established, and thank you guys for chiming in. Now that'll do it for the show. Thanks everyone for listening once again. As always, if you enjoyed the show, visit our patreon.com page and show the show some support financially, or you can also join our social media links. We blast out Saints news articles, also with Pelicans, boxing, all that kind of stuff. While go looking around for you can have it. Just go and sign the Facebook page, sign up for the Twitter page. All the links in the description section below. And also another way that you can help the show is by supporting the sponsors. Those links in the section below. So as always, for me and DC and the entire crew at the Sports Coma, thank you for listening. Peace.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, and support the true independent artists.
Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture and light. With Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below. Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products. And And you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think New Frog, newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Vapor DNA is the absolute premier online vape store, offering an industry-leading selection of e-cigarettes, e-liquids, and accessories. Our friendly and knowledgeable customer service team is always ready to provide the best customer service experience to ensure you find what you're looking for. We guarantee our vaping gear shop products to be 100% genuine and the lowest price. We are so confident in our selection and our customer service. We will offer our customers a 45-day refund policy. That's right, a 45-day refund policy. We are proud of this offer for 3 simple reasons: quality, selection, and price. And that is the reason you should choose Vapor DNA for all your vaping needs. That's www.vapordna.com. Again, that's www.vapordna.com.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share, and help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.